glad to see you.
Red, white, and
You're
blue,
the
we
first
did it.
one. Jack. Late. Morning. How are you?
Listen, forget show business. Get a job, sweetheart.
This is the story of a man whose statue you see every time you walk down Broadway. He stands there, 20 feet tall, all alone, looking down on a street he owned for a quarter of a century. This is the story of that brash, cocky, vulnerable, patriotic, star-spangled theatrical genius, and a story of speed, because it's about George M. Cohan, and speed was his style. Cohan, who wrote 500 songs.
45 minutes from Broadway.
Give my regards to Broadway.
Over there.
Yankee Doodle dance.
Nellie Kelly?
50 shows. Cohan, super showman, legend. A man who gave a whole new shape to the theater. But here now, let's see what shaped him.
Well, then we'd have to start with the theater itself, because that's the only thing he really knew.
Born into a vaudeville family, you're learning routines before you know how to tie your own shoelaces.
And sawing away on a fiddle when you're 5.
And what about starring in Peck's Bad Boy when you're 12 years
Did
old?
you do that?
And loving it all and hating it too.
Yeah, there was a lot to hate. Did you ever eat cold stew at 100 different boarding houses?
What about the midnight bus from one tank town to another?
Here. But I think the thing that Cohan hated the most was the fact that his father never quite made it. He never forgot that. And he also never forgave the theater for it.
But he used it in all of his plays. They were all centered around the underdog, the comeback of the defeated, turning the tables on the high and mighty, surefire stuff the audiences ate it up.
Cohan grew up with America.
Well, he wanted all over this country as a kid, and he soaked it all up.
Then he took it all, 3 million square miles of it, squeezed it onto 40 square yards of stage, and froze it there. 100 variations, one theme. Then at the turn of the century...
Hey, let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
You're right. Let's do it from the top.
Why not?
Right.
All right.
Act 1, Scene 1.
Yeah.
George Michael Cohan is born, Providence, Rhode Island, July 4th, 1878.
Wait. Legend.
You're right. It was July 3rd. But since it pleased little Georgie to give Independence Day as his birthday, let's speed the clock up for him.
All right. Truth dressed up for the stage.
But that's where he lived it, how he lived it, and how we tell it. July 4th, a holiday, a parade. Noise, lots of color, flags, perfect. Now, Jerry, I just told you that your wife, Nellie, gave birth and you gotta fight your way through the parade to get to her bedside.
Right.
Got it? Got it.
Nell.
Oh, Jerry.
Oh, Nell, you all right?
Well, I'm fine. Oh, Jerry, look. Just look at your son.
Oh, George Michael Cohan. Oh, he's a fine-looking boy, Nell.
Oh, yes. He is almost as
Good looking as his...
as his father.
For you, Nell.
Oh,
Well, they're not real ones, but I'll get you them. There wasn't time. I'll get you every flower there is in the world. And I'm talking about a big, big garden.
what do you mean? We don't have any garden.
Well, not yet, we don't, but I was just looking at a fine new house down by the brewery. They're hiring teamsters, Nell, and I thought maybe tomorrow I'd go over and have a little talk with Mr. Malone about a job.
Why, Jerry, that's a wonderful idea.
It is?
If I ever saw you behind a team of horses, I think I'd die laughing. A theater's where you belong. Me too. And you remember that.
Oh, thanks, Nell. Thanks. The fact is, I'm scared stiff of horses.
Well, I know that.
Besides, I'll have to teach him the act. Oh, look at him now. Look at him. Well, he's a born little hoofer. George Michael Cohan, my son.
Shh.
Sorry.
Now listen. Your born hoofer is going to be a doctor or a lawyer or anything that he wants to be.
Absolutely. And I promise you, Nell, he won't see a stage until he's at least 18 or 21 months. Well, until he learns how to talk, whichever comes first. Oh, Nell, I could carry him on with me tonight.
Oh, Jerry.
Well, we might just as well teach him to dance while he's learning to walk. It'll save time.
Jerry, just look at him.
Woohoo! Glory be, Nell. He's dancing. Oh, that's it, Georgie, that's it. Try it again. Only this time, put the shuffle in. That's it. And now, put the clips in the second chorus. Oh, look at that, Nell. 10 years old, he's upstaging the old man already. Him and his sister, Josie. Now, who do you think made that up? Georgie? Not bad for a 15-year-old kid, huh, Nell? Why didn't you go try it?
Well, now, I know he hasn't had too much school, but he's seen more of the country in the last 20 years than most people see in a lifetime. And that's an education, too, you know.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, the towns we played. Akron, Dayton, Phoenix, Denver, Portland, Cedar Rapids.
My mother thanks you. My father thanks you. His sister thanks you. And I thank you. Curtain. Okay, let's get the props out.
Georgie, listen. I think it would be best if we saw Mr. Albee and talked to him in the dressing room first.
Worst place in the world, Mama. A guy like E.F. Albee comes to see the act. That's a scene. I gotta stage it.
No, Georgie. What your mother is trying to tell you is just take it easy.
Will you let me do it? I know all about it. He wants this act. I mean, he didn't come down to Cedar Rapids to take the waters, and if he wants it, he's gonna pay for it.
George! He's coming.
Okay, now remember, we give it the Cohan touch. Speed, noise, lights, music. Then to top it off... Hello, E.F. Love to chat with you, but we're busy right now. Running over some sensational new material I just wrote for the act to use when we play New York.
Some other time, then.
Oh, no. No, watch if you insist. As a matter of fact, it might do you some good. I don't like to tell you your business, Mr. Albee, but you know, the public is getting sick of that same junk you've been feeding them for the past 20 years. What you need is something new, and we got it. A 5-letter word beginning with C, ending with N, with an OHA in the middle. Goodbye, my lady love. So long, my turtle dove. Farewell, my honeysuckle. I gotta go. While I am on my way, I'll phone you every day. I'll tell you how I am if you want to know.
I'll hear if you're acting gaily.
Don't be leery.
Will I get my letter daily?
Yes, my dearie.
Honey, goodbye.
Dearie, don't cry. Honey, dear, you know I've got to go.
All aboard for Broadway. That's the Yankee land.
Just got time to say goodbye, that's all.
So long.
Don't you hear the train man calling?
All aboard for Broadway.
I'll be back again. Hurry, dear, now just one kiss. Just think of all the fun I'll miss if I miss that Broadway train.
so long. Don't you hear the train man calling?
All aboard for Broadway. I'll be back again. Hurry, dear, now just one kiss. Just think of all the fun I'll miss if I miss I'll take the girl,
What?
the young lady. $60 a week, opening in Atlantic City.
No, wait a minute.
That's a very nice offer, Mr. Albee.
Nice.
And I'm sure Josie appreciates it.
But Junior here doesn't, huh? I suppose he thinks that all producers are philanthropical institutions. Take my advice, Sonny, accept the offer.
Take my advice, Mr. Albee, and...
Reconsider, please, Mr. Albee. This is a 4-act.
And a really good one, Mr. Albee. I mean, you may not have liked everything you saw, but we could change it with a few cuts here and there.
No cuts. No cuts. The act's great, and you know it, just because that big...
Producer. Don't worry about the boy, Mr. Albee. He's overexcited because you're here. We were only talking last night, weren't we, Georgie? We were just saying how we could use your renowned experience and taste to tighten the act.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us, Mr. Albee, what do you think?
Not bad. Not a bad little act. I guess I can use the four of you.
Oh, what did I tell you?
You can open in 2 weeks.
Oh, there.
Oh, here's the deal. New York, $7.50 per week.
Poughkeepsie, $150 a week. If the act shapes up, Schenectady, maybe.
Oh, that's great. And we accept. When do we start?
Start. Nobody starts in Poughkeepsie, Papa. That's where you finish. So if you want my advice, Mr. Albee...
I think you've said just about enough, Mr. Big Shot.
No, I haven't, Mr. Albee. Not nearly enough.
Listen, kid. I hear about an act, I run down and see it. I take a look. That's my business. I like it, I book it. But where I come from, little punks your age shine my shoes, bring me coffee, and keep their big mouths shut. And I take any one of them over you. Because it ain't out of their mouths that I hear how good they are. You ever thought of joining the Navy, sweetheart?
Poughkeepsie. Poughkeepsie is a lot closer to New York than we are right now.
Closer isn't enough, Papa. We've been on our way to New York for 12 years. I want to get there.
So do we, Georgie. But we can't always have what we want.
Why not? Because a two-bit showman like Albee says no? Let me tell you something. There's a couple of things I never believed about myself. 10 minutes with him, I believe them all.
Georgie, what can we do with you? It's a fine thing, all this ambition of yours. You'll get someplace. But so many people are getting used up along the way.
Mama, when we get where I'm going, there'll be more people around than you know what to do with.
I hope so, Georgie. I hope so. But in the meantime, now, let's go change. There'll be no more auditions today.
Come on, you understand, don't you, Josie? It's like I'm running. Yeah, there's a long train going by me, and I'm running after it. It's night, and I can see people laughing inside, and the light from the windows shines on the brass railings outside the door. And I know that if once, just once, I can touch those railings, I'll get on. For some crazy reason, you'll be there, and Mom, and Pop, all of us together. The four of us. For always. The four of us. The four of us. They're gonna hear much more of us. The greatest stars are we. 'Cause we're together
Georgie, you'll catch the train, I know it. But trains start and stop. That's why you need people to be there when it's time to get off. Nothing's for always, George.
I am. And you know why? Because I'm playing it their way from now on. If humble's what they want, humble they're gonna get. 14 karat, solid brass, Rhode Island Irish humble, and don't ask for better, and there ain't none. Mom, Pop. It's a new me. That's right. The old loudmouth is no more. And don't worry, we're gonna play New York, and why shouldn't we? We got brains, talent, the greatest act in the business, and me, little Georgie himself.
I like the new Georgie.
The best part about him is you don't miss the old one.
The four of us, they're gonna hear much more of us. The greatest stars are we.
We don't need Albie. I'll take in laundry.
No room for doubt, our time is due. New York, look out, we're warning you. Up there in lights we'll be.
I've suddenly lost my fear of horses.
Tonight at 8, there's a freight we'll be flagging. We'll go by trail, steam or sail, or upon a Conestoga wagon.
I'll think of something, I think.
Hey, watch our dust, Broadway or bust. Our motto's just, in us we trust. Don't need a score of us, no less or more of us. Forever, four of us will be.
Goodbye to sticks, roofs and hicks, cows and clover.
And hey, you there, Harris Square.
Gonna take you, shake you.
Make you over. Like God's a pot, flat broke, so what? In luck or not, look what we've got. We've got the four of us, no less or more of us. Forever, four of us will be.
I'll take the girl.
Who's here?
I want to say one thing.
Yes.
I turned down a good job offer with E.F. Albee just to keep this act together, but I refuse to do one more scene unless you get us out of Cedar Rapids, please.
Done.
How?
With guts. That night, they head east with their last $50. Georgie blitzes Hyde and Bayman, the biggest circuits in vaudeville.
Small potatoes. Goodbye. Goodbye. And good luck.
Hyde and Bayman get an offer they can't refuse. The four Cohans, $0, not 1 red cent.
Free.
The first week. Then, when the act clicks, they sign on Georgie's terms.
$7.50 per.
Let's face it, my brother was pushy.
No, aggressive.
Well, that's what every red-blooded all-American boy was supposed to be.
That's right. Anything you want, go out there and get it. And if you trample on a few people, that's their worry. Your worry is getting to the top, the biggest and the best, and right now.
Scene 2, Adam Street Theater.
One of the top vaudeville houses in town. Look at this.
Look, what a lovely theater, George. Look at all the room they've got backstage. The curtains up.
When we are M-A-R-R-I-E-D-H-A-P-P-Y will be. We're going to be U-Y, you'll see. A nice little H-O-U-S-E. We'll have
She great, Papa?
B-A-B-Y
Not bad, George, not bad at all.
Not bad. She's only sensational, and why shouldn't she be? I wrote her the number.
Oh, so that's why you've been spending so much time with her.
Rehearsing this song. Y-O-U. We'll have a B-A-B-Y boy and a G-I-R-L too.
Bob, Josie, this is Ethel Levy.
Hello. You were very good.
We're engaged.
Engaged?
Oh, Mrs. Cohan, I think I should explain. George is engaged. I just haven't said no.
Then you're lost, poor girl. Welcome aboard.
Cohans, can you move it upstage, please? I don't want to be here all night.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful we met her now. I'd hate like the devil to be saying hello to her on the way up the aisle.
Oh, Jerry.
Mr. and Mrs. Cohan, now, just because George has asked me to marry him doesn't mean I'm going to do it. He hasn't even given me a chance to think about it.
Think about it? What's to think about?
It's a modern age, modern age, modern age. The whole world's racing. Speed is all the rage, all the rage, all the rage as we go chasing. Thomas Edison, he's the one who's begun accelerating. Now with Mr. Bell, Samuel Morse as well. Why keep waiting?
Mr. Cohan, I will not be pushed or rushed.
Won't be rushed, my dear young lady. This is 1901, the dawn of the 20th century, and what I've invented is a 60-mile-an-hour romance.
Oh, there are organizations to deal with people like you, the law courts, the police, the benevolent protective order of... Elks.
No time to pitch woo now. The century's new now. I'm singing my love songs in that new ragtime. The minute I meet you, I send for the preacher and order those wedding bells to chime. I'm a Yankee with know-how. Don't wanna go slow now. Can't wait for that moon above. Than a dove. So kiss me and run, kid. It's 1901, kid, and be my 20th century love.
I wanna be wooed first. Put me in the mood first. I want that old moon above, as well as the dove.
No time to delay now. It's love in a day now. And yours is 20th century love.
Very well. I accept you as a potential suitor. But I warn you, I'm the sort of girl who wants a proper introduction. First we meet, then we go walking, then we dance, then he holds my hand, then my waist, then he kisses me, proposes, marches down the aisle, puts a ring on my finger, gives me a dozen American Beauty roses, and carries me across the threshold.
And I'll do all that, only put a little 20th century pace in it. Ready? Go!
Meet, walk, dance, hand, waist, kiss, propose, rose, aisle, ring, threshold. No time to pitch boo now. It's 1902 now. I love you by telegraph is fast and clear.
Whenever we're parted, we're not broken hearted. As long as the telephone is near, dear.
It's love at first sight now. My Edison's light now. No waiting for stars. Meet, walk, dance, hand, waist, kiss, propose, rose, ring, threshold.
So hurry to meet him. It's 1903, and be my 20th century
My mother thanks you. My father thanks you. My sister thanks you. My wife thanks you. And for the last time on the Hayden-Bayman vaudeville circuit, I thank you.
George, what do you mean the last time? What are you doing?
Moving up, kid. Kiss the 15-minute sketches goodbye. We're going for the full-time 8:30 to 11 musical comedy Broadway.
Oh, George, we don't know musical comedy. We've never done it before. Besides, I like vaudeville. The act's good. We don't have to move.
Kid, if you're not moving, you're slowing down, and that's not for little Georgie.
Oh, what about Bayman? He's given us 52 guaranteed weeks top billing. We can't just walk out on him.
Who's gonna stop us?
No one, George, but if you keep shouldering people aside like that, you're not going to have a friend left in this business.
Then I'll do without them. Ethel, I got something inside me. Something this whole country needs, and I'm gonna give it. Free. No strings attached. Like me. Kid, they're gonna love me. And if I lose one or two so-called friends along the way, I can afford it.
And if it's more than just one or two, George?
It's with all these numbers. There's a city full of people out there. Someone's gonna take it. Why not me?
George.
Why not me? My town. It's Manhattan. Up, down, stone and satin. Noise, boys. All of its clamor can't make me frown. Times Square, how I love it. Fresh air, I die of it. Born in PA still, I'm happy to say this is my hometown. Roar, rush, traffic screaming, red plush, bright lights gleaming, clouds, crowds, nothing about it can get me down. Green trees, I don't need 'em. Birds, bees, you can feed 'em. Skies may be gray now and then on Broadway, and beside every smile there's a frown. Still it's my home. I got it. Little Johnny Jones, the name of my new show. It'll star the five of us. I'll play this American jockey in England, accused of throwing the big race, only you find out I didn't do it. Well, if I work on it night and day, we can open in a month.
No, wait, George. George, I know how much Broadway means to you, but what about us? Oh, you promised we would have some time together.
Kid, there'll be plenty of time for time. Right after the new show opens. Right after the new show. Times Square, how I love it. Fresh air, I die of it. Skies may be gray now and then on Broadway, and beside every smile there's a frown. Still it's mine.
George M. Cohan ordered the scenery for little Johnny Jones before he'd written a line.
Keep it moving, keep it moving.
Investment.
Yes.
Rehearsal.
Opening in an hour, it's all up for grabs, and who's the winner?
Mr. Cohan.
The show posters.
It's okay, sir.
No. George M. Cohan on top, little Johnny Jones on the bottom, and get rid of the orange. I want everything in red, white, and blue.
Okay, let's take places, please. Scene 3. Rehearsal at opening night of Little Johnny Jones. Okay, come on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
okay, George? George, feel okay?
Yeah. Papa, I'm scared.
Hallelujah. I don't have to worry about you anymore.
Excuse me, please.
Papa, how do you know if it's really good?
Oh, you'll know, Georgie. They'll tell you.
No, how do you know if it's happening?
That's kind of hard to explain, George. They'll help.
It's a special feeling, George.
George, I'm scared to death.
It's very private. Almost as though you're all alone on that stage.
Well, you know there's music, but suddenly you can't hear it. You know there are other people on stage with you, but you can't see them. There's no theater, no audience, no show, no nothing.
Just you and a strange golden light. Oh, and that's the magic, Georgie. That golden light that finds you and holds you.
Believe me, son, if it happens, you'll know it. Oh, we're on. There. Johnny Jones, you're on. Now remember, Johnny, you stick here on the pier and watch for that skyrocket. The moment it goes off, you'll know I've got the papers from Amstead's cabin proving you innocent of throwing the derby.
Thanks, pal, thanks. I'll be watching.
Good boy.
We still believe in you, Johnny.
That means a lot, kid.
Any messages back home, Johnny?
Yeah. One. Give my regards to Broadway. Remember me to Herald Square. Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that I will soon be there. Whisper of how I'm yearning to mingle with the old-time throng. Yes, give my regards to old Broadway. Say that I'll be there ere long.
Boat whistle.
Johnny, you're gonna be all right. You just stick here at the pier and watch for that skyrocket.
Goodbye, Johnny. Goodbye.
Well, Johnny, it looks like we won't be taking that trip together after all.
Cheer up. There'll be other trips together. Lots of them, I promise you that, kid. I promise you.
Whisper of how I'm yearning to mingle with that old-time throng. Give my regards to old Broadway and say that I'll be there of people and things. Oh, what a fine bunch of Rubens. Oh, what a J atmosphere. Their whiskers like hay and that in Broadway, only 45 minutes from here. Only 45 minutes from here.
Today, 45 minutes from Broadway is 3rd Avenue.
Only 45 minutes from here.
Oh, that was a perfect song for the time. Simple, innocent.
Corny.
Well, yes, it was corny, but corny then was the goods.
They ate it up.
And they begged for more. He was 1901's Golden Boy of Broadway and using big stars now.
Oh, they were all clamoring to get into his shows. Victor Moore, Faye Templeton.
Well, she didn't exactly clamor.
Oh, but Georgie got her, though. It was a blitz. He just wore her down, and then he wrote a song for her that just melted her. For it is Mary, Mary, plain as any name can be, but with propriety, society will say Mary, but it was Mary. Long before the fashions came, for there is something there that sounds so square. It's a grand old name.
Now you know why everyone has at least 2 Aunt Marys.
But only one wife, and Ethel couldn't keep up with him. She just got pushed further and further into the background.
She must have understood the kind of man he was.
Sure she did, but she wanted to have and George wanted to do.
And he was doing plenty. In partnership with Sam Harris, he turned out 2 shows a year. Hits, hits, hits. Writing them, acting them, directing them, touring them. Great for his career.
And all the time away from Ethel.
Well, they must have had some life together.
Well, in 1913, he had 12 shows running at once. You figure it out. I mean...
He was raking it in and handing it out to anyone down on his luck, writing free vaudeville material or just lending it to people he knew could never pay it back.
And at the peak of his career, he gave his father half of everything. Every song, every show, everything, including the farm out in Glen Cove. Now, you know that's generous.
If you don't mind my saying so, me love, that's Irish. I mean, it's no good having that filthy stuff sticking to you anyway. Better be rid of it. Purify your thoughts and turn them where they really belong, on the Irish. And did he ever... The O'Brien girl, the rise of Rosie O'Reilly, the Mary Malones. And lest we forget, little Nellie Kelly.
It's the same old song they sing. I love you. The boys are all wild about Millie. The
H-A-R-R-I-G-A-N spells Harrigan. Proud of all the Irish blood that's in him.
Hey, devil a man can say a word again him.
H-A-R-R-I-G-A-N-U-C is a name that a shade never has been connected with Harrigan. That's H-A-R-R-I-G-A-N-U-C is a name that a shame never has been connected with Harrigan. 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 That's me. That's me.
That's me.
That's me. Oh, what you doing? You don't have any more.
Happy, fast, and furious, the Cohan trademark.
No, not the only one. His heart was closer to other things. The spirit of 76, the Maine, the Alamo. One nation indivisible. And in the war to end all wars, he wrote a song to match the struggle. It was a battle cry, an American hymn. Over there, send the word, over there, that the boys are coming, the drums rum-tumming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer.
Swell idea, George. Having the opening night party backstage.
Well, the Cohan first.
You read the reviews?
Yeah, pretty good, huh? The singing.
New girl in the chorus.
Very nice. Very nice.
And we won't come back till it's over
Very nice, Miss Nolan. Very nice. I've never heard the song done quite that way. Miss,
Nolan, Agnes Nolan from Worcester, Mass. You know, my folks once met your folks.
That's great. We'll have to talk about that sometime, okay?
Okay.
Everybody having a good time here? Rosie, you were so beautiful today.
Funny story, George. I ran into Ned, what's his name, you know, at the Friars yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Still trying to sell me on that Madeleine Gilbert. I said, look, I know she's talented, but she's too tall. She's still 6 inches too tall for the part. So he says to me, yes, he says, I know, but have you seen her lately?
George, funny story. Two guys sitting at a bar, very sophisticated, bored to death, see. So one of them is staring into space, and he looks up and he says, do you think Gene Eagles is her real name? The other one looks at him and says, I think Gene Eagles is whose real name?
A funny story, George. It's about this boy and girl who were going to go away together right after the new show opened. Only trouble was, as soon as the new show opened, there was a new show to open. So one day she just decided to go away together, all by herself. Funny part was she didn't know how to tell him.
Did she have to tell him? All right, he's been busy, but right after the new show opens...
She had to tell him, George.
And, give it the Cohan touch. Speed, noise, lights, music. Play the sad news against a happy scene. Kid, it'll knock 'em dead.
Mr. Harris, telegrams.
George, telegram. Come on, read
See
it.
what we got here. To Cohan Harrison cast, brilliant blazing show. Congratulations. When are you retiring, David Belasco? Here's another one for me. Dear Mr. Cohan, thank you for this chance to be part of this wonderful show. Agnes Nolan. Nolan, is that someone we know, Mom?
Here I am.
Ah, Miss Worcester, Mass. Thanks, kid. That was very sweet.
George, can I speak to you for a minute?
Sure, Josie. Sam, will you finish reading these? What is it, honey? Hurry.
George, it's from E.F. Albee. Congratulations, willing to let bygones be bygones. The Kipsy offer still stands. Dear George, I've decided to proceed as planned and don't think a meeting would accomplish anything. Papers en route to your...
To your lawyer's office, George. Should arrive next week. Forgive me, Ethel. Well, that's it, George. End of sad news against happy scene. Lights fade slowly. It's traditional, dear. Makes it easier to get off that way. Girl starts to go. Turns. A final look. And leaves.
It was in with the rest.
It's all right. Just, saves me having to tell you all one at a time. I'm $50 ahead in phone bills.
Walt.
She went through with it.
He took it badly, as though he'd been wounded.
I can handle it, Mama. Hey, what was it you wanted, Josie?
Josie couldn't tell him.
Tell him what?
Josie couldn't tell him she wanted to get married.
So Nellie told him that Fred Niblo had proposed and Josie had accepted.
That's great. Marvelous.
Dear George.
What'd you think I was gonna do, forbid it?
Dear George. But Fred was on the road and Josie wanted to be with him.
Well, what do you mean, be with him?
She wanted to be with Fred, travel all over.
Yeah, but what about the act? The four Cohans?
Well, she knew she'd have to leave the four Cohans. She felt sorry about that.
Sorry? Now, wait, you take 25 years, you throw it away, you say you're sorry? Josie, put my whole life into this act. You got no right to walk out on it just like that.
She knew her rights. I just transferred them to Fred. The act was George's life, Fred was hers. She doubted George would ever understand that.
Teaches you a good lesson. Don't count on anyone. No one.
The act broke up.
The months passed.
Jerry promised Deli peace and quiet. Jerry, you mentioned something about a big, big garden.
With all the flowers in the world. Only this time, real ones. All for you.
Real ones. She often thought about that. Oh, Jerry, I've wanted those flowers all my life.
No.
The old man wasn't getting any younger either.
Come on. Put a straw skimmer on him. Make a sing and dance with the best of them. Let's try the routine, Papa.
George.
Wait.
It's gone. The lyrics, the timing. I'm tired.
No.
Yes. He's tired. He's been at it a long, long time. He's 67 years old. He's been on the go ever since he can remember. He's worn out. He wants to stop.
I don't want to talk about it.
That won't hold the years back? Or the changes that they bring? George, don't be afraid of it. Jerry Cohan's life was all change, and he loved every minute of it, right down to the very end.
It's not time.
For Jerry, it is.
I want to try the new routine. Come on. You could do it.
No!
Wait.
It happened. No regrets. He adored his family, and they adored him. That's a fine, rare thing.
It's not time.
If a man has that, he can quit happy. It is time. Right here. It happened. George Michael Cohan, my son.
Nothing's for always. Nothing's for always. Oh, yes. Opportunity, Miss, Worcester, Mass.
Her folks once met his folks. You know, that gave them something in common.
It's not much.
Oh, but there was more. I mean, they both understood what he was. A man whose whole life was the stage, that was something he needed. And if someone understood that need and knew that that one would never have you all to herself, oneself.
Keep trying, you'll get it.
Well, if that person were the right person, one who felt love and trust and that... What I am trying to say is that she could make you very, very happy.
June 1st?
What?
That's the day he would like her to marry him. How does one feel about that?
Oh, one loves you, George Michael Cohan.
As a matter of fact, why wait till June? Why not do it tomorrow? Then we can have a great big honeymoon.
I know,
right after the new show opens. It's a great idea.
Yeah?
I play this big shot kid trying to get ahead in Cedar Rapids, you see.
Right.
Then this producer comes down there to take a look at the act. Turns me down flat. There I am, in the middle of nowhere. Broke.
Strike!
What do you mean, strike?
The actors are forming a union, Mr. Cohan. It's the only way we can fight.
Fight who?
The producers. Us.
Oh, not guys like you. It's these small-time chiselers we're after. These bums who work you 70 hours a week in some filthy sweatshop for...
Unions? Organizing, that's Pittsburgh, not Broadway.
America's changing, George. Broadway's gonna have to do the same.
Sam, actors walking off the stage? What are we talking about? You couldn't have dragged us off. But this Broadway's all there is. You want to change it? Change it. Count me out.
George.
George, think about it. Stay on the sideline.
Agnes, I'm Georgie. What do I know about sidelines? Okay, kid, you gotta fight. But I'm telling you now, if you win, you lose, because it'll be a Broadway without Cohan.
George, please.
Sam, I won't lose. I've been giving this town what it wants for 20 years. The backer is my audience. You got 500,000 actors to top that? We'll fight. Hell, it's the American way. a man who owns Broadway. That's what the daily papers say. I'm not just on that train, Agnes. I own it.
He is the man who owns Broadway.
Hey, Lynn, there goes Jolson, the guy who owns Broadway.
Sam called again, George. Equity still wants you to join.
I can't give in. I said it.
That's what the daily papers say.
Biggest hit on Broadway, 1922, the Ziegfeld Follies. I miss you, George.
Agnes, let's buy that farm.
Kings on their thrones may envious be.
Look, it's Jean Harlow.
I like farming, Agnes. You know, I got a green thumb.
Oh, yeah? Where's all this free stuff we were going to get off the land, huh?
Must be the soil.
He's got the popularity.
Hey, I got it. 2 tickets to Red Hot and Blue with Jimmy Durante and Ethel Merman.
See what they're doing on 42nd Street? They've turned the New Amsterdam into a movie house. You hear the lyric and the Selwyn are going the same route.
If there's anything in town you want to buy or rent or hire, drop a line or wire to the sole proprietor. We want Cantor. We want Cantor.
I want Cohan. I want Cohan.
George, let's go down and take a look. It might do you some good. Oh, no, what am I thinking? You just sit there and listen to your baseball, dear. I'll just sit and rock for a while. I mean, it was just a thought, you know, walking down Broadway, seeing the old sights.
Agnes, if you want to go, we'll go.
The man who owns Broadway, they say. The man who owns Broadway, they say. The man who owns Broadway, they say. The man who owns Broadway, they say.
Old town just ain't the same.
Well, 17 years is a long time, George.
Well, at least the winter garden has survived. I'll probably tear that down soon, too, and make it into a hot dog stand. Which reminds me, Worcester, Mass, what's the idea of dragging me into Sam Harris's theater?
Hello, George.
End of mystery.
Now, George, don't be angry with me. Sam made it sound so urgent.
It is urgent.
What, a script he wants me to doctor?
That he wants you to be in.
Me being somebody else's show?
It's called I'd Rather Be Right. It's a great new musical. It's a perfect part for you, George. You play the President of the United States.
No. N.O. I'm retired and I love it. Free, I can travel. Who wants to give all that up just to sing 20 new songs?
14.
I'll play the President of the United States. I only get 14 songs? Let me take a look at this. Give me a pencil, somebody. Let me just see if there's anything else wrong with it. And if I do by any chance decide to do it, I just want you to know that my terms will not only be high, they'll be astronomical, and I'm only considering it in the first place because if I don't get back on the stage, I'll go nuts. Agnes, don't ever let me retire again. The working conditions are brutal. What retired people need is a union.
There he goes on his dancing toes with that famous American stride, full of musical comedy pride. Traffic holds up when he hits Main Street, spats to lid, he's a Broadway kid, and to wrap up the town is his plan. With his famous walk, his fancy talk, his happy grin, they're crowding in around him to hail and crown him the Yankee Doodle, Yankee Doodle. Spats to lid, he's a Broadway kid, and to wrap up the town is his plan. With his famous walk, his fancy talk, his happy grin, they're crowding in around him to hail and crown him the Yankee Doodle, Yankee Doodle. Musical comedy man. Walt, what's this chair doing here?
Mr. Cohan, can you follow me downstage, please? Yeah. Now, the gentlemen in back of you are justices of the Supreme Court, sir. Acknowledge them. Now, turn stage left, sir. And a bow to the ladies of the DAR. That's it. 6, 7, 8. Could you hold it, please? Hold it. Hold it.
Sam, are you out there?
Yeah, George. Yeah?
Feels good, Sam. It's a good flow.
The Kane stuff is, very slick.
I beg your pardon?
I said the Kane stuff is very slick. But the president is worried here about talking to Congress.
But it's my entrance. Believe me, it'll bring down a house.
Hold on, George. I'm coming up. George, look. You and I both know that entrance is great. But the authors, they want a different kind of mood in here.
Sam, I'm going to give them the mood they want. Right after I do the Kane bits. Believe me, it'll bring down the house.
Look, I know it's a great bit, but not in here.
It's 6 o'clock. Okay, people, you can leave for tonight, 10 o'clock.
Sam, I know you too well, too long. What's happening here?
George, look. Go upstairs, cool off. When you come down, we'll discuss it.
All right. Let me get a towel or something. I'll be right back.
All right.
Mr. Harris, you have a meeting in the office with the officer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did you type up Mr. Cohan's notes?
Yes, sir.
Good. He'll be down in a minute. You give them to him. Now, do it calmly. He'll argue, but just plow ahead. Okay. Keep it businesslike. And don't forget to give him a copy of the new lyric. We want it in by tomorrow.
Okay, I'm not against discussing anything, but if there's one thing I know about, it's my entrance. Where's Sam?
He's meeting with the authors and his officer.
Oh.
He asked me to give you these notes. If you don't mind, Mr. Cohan.
Harold. Agnes is waiting for me in the car. Tell her I'll be out in 5 minutes.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, kid, what you got?
Well, to begin with, sir, Mr. Harris feels that the Supreme Court scene's running a little long.
Good. I agree with him there. We can make a cut someplace else. What else?
Well, according to these notes, Mr. Cohan, he wants it out of that scene.
Yeah, that's pure gold you're talking about. I've been doing those bits for, what, 40 years, and I know.
Well, maybe that's it, Mr. Cohan. I mean, the bits are 40 years old, and it doesn't go with the rest of the material. I mean, if there's going to be any sense of cohesiveness in the script.
What? Sense of what?
A sense of cohesiveness.
I see. Go on.
Well, that's that, sir. Now, for your first entrance.
Let me guess. A cane ain't cohesive.
Exactly, sir. I mean, that scene makes a strong dramatic statement, and those extraneous bits and asides only violate.
Now, wait a minute.
What he would like you to do, Mr. Cohan, is cut the hat and cane. Do the entrance straight. Look, don't you understand that he's only doing this for your own good? I mean, he doesn't want you, excuse me, sir, but he doesn't want you to make a fool out of you.
I said, wait a minute. Something you don't seem to understand. My name is Cohan. I've been on the stage something like 10,000 times. I've written 100 shows. I've put on 100 more. If I stick my oar in, it's because the show needs it. What's that?
It's the new lyric, sir. They asked me to give it to you in place of the one that you changed.
That lyric is insulting. Al Smith is a friend of mine. I don't want to say those things about him. Sure, what I say may not be smart, but it's worked for years, and I don't need some punk kids.
Now listen, Mr. Cohan. These are Mr. Harris's notes, not mine. And maybe what's worked for years isn't what he wants in this show. Now, the way you were taught was just great, sir, in its time. But this is 1937, and things have changed. And excuse me for saying this, sir, but if you don't realize that, well, maybe you shouldn't have come back. Now, here's the new lyric. And if you can manage it, Mr. Cohan, they would appreciate you having it by tomorrow. Mr. Cohan, if you like, I will go over the lyric with you. Well, then, it is getting very late, and I have an early call. So I shall see you in the morning, Mr. Cohen. Good night.
Looks like you took a shower. Feisty young kid, that Waller. He'll work out good. Reminds me of a young punk I heard of once. Master Georgie. Violent tricks and tinkling tunes. Wrote his own press releases, as I recall. George. George, the show will be a hit. Your show. Your hit. Come on, let's go over to Sardi's. Come on, we'll get a bite to eat.
I'm the kid that's all the candy. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. I'm glad I am, so's Uncle Sam. I'm a real live Yankee Doodle. Made my name, fame and boodle. Just like Mr. Doodle did by riding a pony. A Yankee Doodle dandy, a Yankee Doodle do or die, a real live nephew of my uncle's, born on the 4th of July. Got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart. She's my Yankee Doodle joy. Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride the ponies. I am that Yankee Doodle boy. I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy, a Yankee Doodle do or die, a real live nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. I've got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart. She's my Yankee Doodle joy. The Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride the ponies. I am that Yankee Doodle boy.
George, you all right? Are you all right?
Yes. Of course I'm all right. But shouldn't I be all right?
Oh, dear, you said you'd be out in 5 minutes.
Look, what's the matter? My name is Cohan. Say 5 minutes, heck, I mean anything up to her. An hour and a half.
Yes, dear.
I expect you to wait that full time.
I will, dear.
With words of love and devotion, conceived, written, and executed by George M. Cohan.
Of course, dear.
Because I need him, kid. I need him. It's a new lyric I asked him to write. Pretty good, too. I think I'll use it on my entrance. Right after I do the cane bits. Hey! Where'd everybody go?
Sardi's.
Oh,
Hey, Joel, tell me what happened.
with what?
If I'd rather be right, was it a hit?
Oh, yeah, smash. Yeah, it ran 2 years.
Oh, that's terrific. Hey, you coming?
Yeah, I'll be right there.
Okay.
Hey, order me a club sandwich.
Right.
Mayo on the side.